guys, welcome back. I'm really excited to have my first interview today. With me I have Karlee Bass. She is in her second year of college at Moody Bible Institute out in Spokane, Washington. She's getting married in just 2 days. Super excited about that. And we are very fortunate because she has agreed to carve out just a smidge of time to be with us today. And so, so thank you, Karlee, so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
You are welcome. So I want to talk to you because you're in college, and that's such a interesting time for anybody. Specifically, because you are a Christian, because you're in college, even though you're at a Christian college, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about you and how you have stayed true to your beliefs. Like, what have you done in order to live out your faith and stay true to your Christian beliefs?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I could say to that would just be for Christians and non-Christians alike, is to make your faith your own, because we kind of have this idea that, like, growing up in the church, you can just kind of go off of what you've been told your whole life or what your parents tell you, or, you know, it gets easy to just make it a habit kind of, but you really have to make it your own, and you have to decide why you believe what you believe, because your foundation has to be in that alone, because you can grow up just watching it or hearing people say things, but if it's not really your own, it'll be easy for all of that to fall apart. So making your faith your own is definitely huge.
So you have done that then. So is that like a transition that you kind of had to make as soon as you got there? Did that kind of hit you? You know, as soon as you got to college, like, oh man.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm on my own now, and I don't have my parents around anymore,
telling
right?
me what to believe or what to do, and so I think that's like a huge turning point. Yeah, it didn't happen overnight, definitely, but I think gradually I kind of realized it was happening, and I was like, you know, I'm not just believing this because someone has told me this. I'm believing this because I see this to be true. I'm reading scripture, and I did have doubts in that, but with those doubts, I think that doesn't have to be a scary thing. Doubting your faith doesn't mean you don't have your faith or you're just turning away from it. Doubting means you're a human being and you have questions, and I think searching for answers in the right places is really a good thing, as opposed to just having a doubt and being like, well, this must not be true. I'm just going to go on my merry way and do me or whatever, because that never turns out right. So, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then, so tangibly speaking then, so we've kind of looked at, okay, you know, going to college, or just even in general, whether you're in college or not, at some point you have to decide whether you believe what the Bible says is true, right? We all have to make that decision. Yeah. You just have found that decision to come upon you, kind of like at the beginning of college. Yeah. But so then let's zone in. So tangibly speaking, give me some things that you have done since you have decided, yes, like these things that I've always said that I believe, I actually believe. I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. Yeah. What have you done, tangibly speaking, to live out your faith, so it's not just I say I believe it, but my actions show that I believe it? Right,
yeah. I think like 3 things come to mind that are just huge, and one of them being like, for me at Christian college, the Bible can become like a textbook, and it's something we're required to read or to study for certain classes, not all of them, but I think that one thing is huge is to make time for God. Just like you would make time for any other human relationship, why wouldn't you have to be intentional with the most important relationship, with your Creator? So making time with God is huge, and I think sometimes it's easy to forget that because we're like, He doesn't need that, which is like, He doesn't need it, but He loves it. Right. He loves when His children want to make time for Him and spend time in His Word, and that's extra hard for me because I'm an extrovert and I don't like being alone. But when I am alone with God, and when I make time to read His Word and just to read it for fun, which sometimes it's not fun, and I have to tell Him, like, I don't want to read this right now, but He knows the desires of my heart, and He knows that they are for Him. So I think He blesses that, and He gives me that desire sometimes, or maybe I'll just spend time in prayer instead of reading. But I think that just making time for him and being intentional about spending alone time with God every day, or if you're super busy, at least 5 minutes a day, or maybe you need it twice a day, or just that will help you carry it throughout the entire day. So I think that's huge. I think another one is getting involved in the church. The church is such a gift from Christ, and I think getting involved and serving is huge, because Christ himself said that he came to serve and not to be served. So I think it's pretty arrogant, and I've done this, to think I don't have to serve, I can just show up and that's my role. But I think that living into that, what Christ has done and following his example and serving, has brought so much joy and blessing into my life, because there's also people there who are serving me and blessing me. So that's such a beautiful role to play into. And I think thirdly, you just have to be in community. Be in good, solid community, because it's okay to love and to be friends with unbelievers. That's perfectly okay. But if you don't have a solid foundation of people who are like-minded, people who are also giving their life to Christ, people that you can just cry out to and be vulnerable with and say, hey, this is what I'm struggling with right now. I need someone to be there. I think if you don't have that, it's going to be really hard. And you can do it, but it's going to be rough.
Oh, it's really hard. Yeah, that was me in college. I didn't have anybody around me that love Jesus, except my parents.
Yeah.
And yeah, so having like-minded people around, for sure, I would have made probably a lot less bad decisions.
Well, it's draining, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
You're trying to hold on to your faith, but you have people who want you in the other direction. And
yeah.
It's absolutely draining. So to have people that can pour back into you, it makes it easier to pour into others.
And encourage, right? Because they're going through the same stuff, right?
Yeah.
And you guys can say, yeah, this is really hard, and
they can pray
let's do
for
it
you
together.
and build you up and point you back towards Christ. I think that's a beautiful relationship to have. So,
right.
Yeah, so those three things, being intentional with God, serving, and having a solid community. Without those three, I'd be I don't know where I'd be. I was gonna say I'd be okay, but it'd be rough,
Yeah.
So
you don't know. I mean,
yeah.
God, obviously, you love him, and whether you go through rough patches or not, he is good, and he's going to pursue you like no one else will, and so he'll do anything he can to get you back. But I think when we can do the things that you said, it helps us from making a lot of bad decisions that we have to ask for forgiveness for later, and or live with the repercussions of whatever that would be later on. A lot of regret.
Yeah, and we were created for community, so living into that is that's what we were created for. So why not?
Right.
Do it.
Right. So I think that speaks to everybody, just living in community. And so if you don't have a community of like-minded Christian people around you, I would encourage you to seek that out. Find a good church if you're not involved in one. If you're in college, finding a good college group to get involved in, especially if you're not at a Christian college where you can't just easily find the people that, really love Jesus. There are lots of those across college campuses all over the United States and everywhere. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Karlee. I'm so excited. If somebody's interested in getting in touch with you, how could they do that?
Yeah, you could always reach me by email. I check that pretty frequently. I try to at least. Okay. But it's just my last name and my first name at Gmail. So Bass, B-A-S like Sam, S like Sam, Karlee. I'm just used to saying that over the phone. That's
okay. And I can put a link to your email in the description of the message or the video. So we'll go ahead and do that. Yeah. But what about social media?
Or, Instagram, Facebook. I don't have Twitter or anything like
so
that.
We'll throw links out there if you want to get in touch with Karlee. You can go ahead and do that. But if you guys wouldn't mind, over the next few days, especially this weekend as Karlee gets married, would you guys just say a little prayer for her and for her soon-to-be husband, Nathan, that they would just have a God-honoring, beautiful marriage, and that their first year would be easy?
Yeah.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that interview with Karlee as much as I did. I just want to give you a heads up. Starting next week, I am going to take 10 weeks to go through this book right here. It's A.W. Tozer's The Attributes of God. It's awesome. If you are interested in going along with me as I read through it, I would encourage you guys to grab this book. I think you're going to love it as well. And as always, if you are new, this is the first time you're seeing this content, you can follow Solely Devoted on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that will allow you to see this content every single Wednesday. All right, guys, that's it for today. See you next week.